Due to Commissioner Bushman not being in the commission chambers, but he is with us through telephone conversation, I'm going to appoint Commissioner Harry Otto to preside over the meeting.
Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Born in the born.
Okay, let
Let the record show that Presiding Commissioner Bushman is joining us by landline today. Correct, Sam?
Right.
Okay. So, first order of business after the call to order is minutes and reports received and filed.
Yes, we have the collector's January 2023 fees.
Okay. Excuse me, Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports.
Let's see, this afternoon, got a political and economic responsibility committee meeting for the Board of Realtors. Calvary Lutheran's having a blood drive this afternoon. I'll be by there, so come join me. And sounds like they're low on blood right now. MAC board meeting tomorrow. House Fish Fry Friday. Blair Oaks baseball and softball fundraiser Friday at the Lions Club. Lawrenceville Lions Club barbecue Saturday. HBA home shows Friday and Saturday. I think there's a Jeff City baseball fundraiser as well Saturday. I don't have it on my calendar. I know that set of boards were donating for it, but got a lot going on right now.
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay, today, this afternoon, I have a Heartland Port Authority meeting. Tomorrow, I think we have a Forbes ARPA phone call with those folks. Also on tomorrow, I have a Midmo Regional Planning Commission meeting in Ashland. Going to visit with the lobbyists at the Capitol in the afternoon. On Thursday, Missouri River Navigator meeting, all-day meeting out at the Farm Bureau. And Friday, a United Way meeting. That's what I have. Sam, do you have items for you'd like to report on?
Well, no, I had two National Guard meetings, one on Thursday and one on Friday, but I am not going to make anything. So I'm going to stay home and get over this so we can go to, I think next week is training down at Margaritaville. So I got to be healthy for that.
Right. Okay, that should cover items 3 and 4. Any commission comments? Just noted out in the hallway that it looks like, I think absentee voting starts today.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it does.
6 weeks before the election. So,
Correct.
in case anyone needs to vote by absentee. Under bids and contracts, approval and signing a renewal 2 for generator maintenance services.
This is the second renewal with Cummins Incorporated for our generator maintenance services. We currently have 8 generators under contract with us, and Cummins has agreed to maintain their pricing from last year. Greg's been pleased with their services, and our recommendation is to renew it for another year.
Okay, we looked it over. I mean, nothing's changed, Jill. We don't need to do anything different. Okay. Make a motion to approve and sign the second renewal for the generator maintenance services with Cummins Incorporated.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to maintenance services. Opposed? Motion carried. Any unfinished business? Under new business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
Make a motion to approve accounts payable upon review.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, breaks your ankle, does it?
Yes. Okay, let's
Salt
see.
off there.
Second and final reading of budget adjustment number 4.
This is for $124,107.14. This is the Drug Task Force grant that the Law Enforcement Department has received, and I do need action today.
All right, make a motion to sign quarter number 4 for the Drug Task Force grant with the law enforcement for $124,107.14.
And I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and second on the second and final reading of budget adjustment number 4. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, aye, and opposed, no, so the motion carries. We'll now go to discussion of years of service pay. Who is the lead on this? You want to,
I can give you the figures if you want.
that'd be good.
Okay. There was 3 funds that were set up for the salary reserve, general fund, public works, and the assessor. And basically, that money difference was between what the budget officer came up with and what you guys ended up on as of the salaries at the beginning of this year. So there was 3 different reserves. You guys did approve the Public Works Department, the years of service at the beginning. Their cost was reduced off of that, and so were the Parks and Planning amount reduced off of General Funds Reserve. I was asked to come up with the cost for the General Fund employees, and the cost there is $75,000 plus to do the years of service. And then the assessor's office, their cost to do the years of service for the 12 employees over there, that would be $8,700 and some dollar change.
When did you email that to us? Trying to find that again.
Right away. Here's what the email.
Oh, all right, thanks.
I have a question. Is this gonna
Last
be
week, maybe, Deb?
added to their salary, Debbie, to every year? Or is it a one-time?
It's a one-time.
My concern is it might appear to be a bonus.
We've already done it
What?
with Public Works.
It's a raise, it's effective now. I hear what you say, yeah.
Okay, so
It
it's
is
a
every,
raise.
it is every year, but it's not gonna be
Well-
like, next year it adds on another,
Oh, okay, I get
Well,
it.
you
So
know,
it's just
I-
a raise?
it increases our salary.
Okay.
Yeah.
From here forward, it's a raise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It is a raise, but I wanted to state that I don't see this necessarily as an automatic annual raise. In other words, right now, it's sort of, we know the numbers, but that's not binding us to a year of service adjustment for 24
No.
or 25 or 26.
No.
Okay. And I don't want to get in the weeds too much on that, but if we do, I would see that as somehow rolled inside of a COLA if there is one. And we don't know what the future brings with respect to COLAs either. You know, just because we've done COLAs 2 years in a row at different amounts doesn't mean we'll have a COLA the next year.
True.
They all stand alone, okay?
So Grants, does this use all of the reserves? So if one of the departments has another adjustment they want to make throughout the year, does that mean all of our reserve for salaries is gone?
Well, in some cases, it's not gone.
Do you have this? This is showing what was left.
So in
What-
general fund, it shows $84,000 being left. In Public Works, they still have 16,000. I'm rounding here. Assessor's office, they have a unique twist on it because they have 3 positions in there.
that are unfilled.
That right, and that would
Yeah.
have to be weighted. So there is still reserve money there. How it's divided after that, I would think it would be a case-by-case department basis based on the market for certain positions. That's up to you guys.
Let's see. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't a huge number, and I guess drilling into why isn't it huge versus what we experienced with Public Works is because the longevity of a regular or average Public Works employee seems to exceed the longevity of other departments and offices. Correct?
That is correct. It's changed quite a bit. Juvenile health, the bigger departments in general fund have had more of a turnover than you would have seen at Public Works. Even though we've had quite a few older years of service people at Public Works retire, there still is quite a few out there that have a number of years.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised as well. I had asked Debbie to give me the figures, and I thought it would be considerably more. So I'm kind of in favor of doing this.
In speaking with the health department earlier last week about some other issues, and I indicated I hope that going forward, like we did this year, that if we do have COLAs, we adjust, those COLAs are based upon the salaries at the beginning of the year rather than what the salaries are on December 31 of that year. We'd back up to January 1. There could be some exceptions to that, and that would be people who, but after January 1, got a promotion to a higher salary. We'd look back at what that salary of that higher classification, job classification, would have been on January 1 and back into a COLA on then. But we're getting off of the subject of this years of service, but I wanted to mention that as well. Other discussion?
I think the only questions I had, and you kind of mentioned something about it with the promotions, because we've got some people that have been here an extended amount of time and have had maybe even just recent promotions, so there's just some questions I had on it. We put the money in this reserve for, I guess, I don't know if it was for this, we should have just done this at budget time if we was going to do it. I'm not opposed to it. I still have some questions, and once we run out of money in this reserve account, though, we're done with it. And it seems like we've got about 80% or so of the year left to go. We divvied it down quite a bit already. So, I don't know, I just wish we would have done it all at budget time. I don't like doing this stuff in the middle of the year.
Same, you want to weigh in on any comments?
Well, as I said, I had asked Debbie to come up with the figures. I am in favor of initiating this now, and I know, we had the recorder spoke and things like that, so I think it kind of puts everybody on the same level. So I am in favor of initiating it.
So did y'all say, is this going to be through 12/31, or are you going till current date if they had an anniversary?
These figures are as of the same as what Public Works was at the end of '22.
12/31/22 then?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it would put more if you bet, depending on if somebody's hired, but they based it on the end of '22, so that's what I based it on.
Okay. The auditor has a comment? Yes.
I personally think this really sells very little. I think we need a salary study. We need to have salaries, schedules documented and on paper. In fact, I think this creates even a worse situation for your concern, Judy, that your concern that you expressed to me during budget time is that your chief deputy and lead deputy were not paid enough compared to other chief and lead deputies. Your chief and lead deputy don't have years of service. This is creating an even wider gap between your chief deputy and your lead deputy pay. So this isn't helping you hardly at all. You're
At
concerned.
budget time, my concern was Lee Deputy's salary, but
Okay.
you're correct, I don't gain a lot from this recognition, but what it is recognition, and that's what it's coming from.
I just want to go on record that we have to have a salary study. We have to have a better handle on our
And it
salaries.
doesn't fix, it
What
doesn't
is
fix
the
a lot of
market
health
rate?
issues with, you know, she just doesn't have people applying, and it doesn't fix any of those issues. It's just recognition for all instead of a select.
Okay, my point is,
No, I
this is
agree.
not going to fix much as far as the salary issues that this
I
county
agree.
has as a
Salary
whole.
study, I think, would be a great idea.
And
So,
unfortunately, I don't think it fixed Road and Bridges issue either with the starting
Yeah,
wage.
so, anyway, I just want to go on record saying that
Okay.
we got a lot more bigger issues than
I
this with
don't
salaries.
disagree with you that it's not necessarily fixing anything, but it does send a message to our employees that we do have, that we're trying to do something to
I
take
mean,
care of
once-
them. It does
Once a
nothing.
year when the sheriff has his luncheon, our office loves it. They're like, the sheriff is great, he gives us chocolate cake. I mean, it's nothing, but it really does matter to the morale.
And I'm just, the salary study to me is, if we follow it, it's worth having, but we had the other one before, we didn't follow it. We had, the previous auditor had sat down and gone through a whole exercise of trying to get some numbers down on some kind of a schedule. And it wasn't 2 weeks later, and we were making changes to it too, and I think some had gotten changes that probably were more beneficial to their office because they sat down and did more with job descriptions and had a better write-up and stuff, so.
I know it's just a small issue, but I know when I
Judy.
worked in the recorder's.
If you would like to be heard, not only just in the room, you should step up
Well, I
here.
know it's a small issue, but I know when I worked in the recorder's office, and I was there 18 years, and my salary had risen, and when I left, my budget wasn't left very well at the time. But all of the money that I had gained over years of service went to one person. So I don't understand how that money doesn't go to a certain grid and the rest returned, which may help a little bit. I agree, there are salary issues. That's not what this was, it was just recognition.
And if we could get all elected officials to follow that, we'd be great.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we're just saying all the other elected officials. I mean, we've been guilty of it as well, and that's why I try to make sure that we don't treat ourselves special, because then you have the other elected officials that have a little resentment because we're doing it for our employees. And, if you've got somebody that's been here for 20 years and they leave, granted, that's what, $2,000? It's not a lot in the scheme of things, but when you hire that position in, I'm gonna guarantee you that every salary pay request
It
form's
was
gonna come up
over
with that
six-
2,000 included.
Yeah, it was over $6,000 that went
So-
to one employee. So in my 4 years then as the recorder, I had to fix that because there's such a huge gap. And that creates me the bad person in the office, so I would rather have a grid to follow.
Well, we've actually been following the grid that was established by the old auditor. When people left, we went back to that starting salary. We were following it. And I like having that because I like having a place for like my nurses to go, 1, 2s, and 3s. But I worked for the state
Yeah,
for
don't
15
get me
years.
wrong, I'm
so
all
I-
for the salary
Yeah.
schedule because it makes it easier
Me
for
too,
me
I
to point
agree.
at something and go, right
This
here.
is the starting salary
This
for
is what
this
you
position.
agreed to, let's
So,
stick
yeah,
to
I
it.
agree.
But then something happens and it gets all jacked up and,
But I think my point for this was if you're gonna recognize years of service for one department or a group of people, it should be across the board. And again, my office doesn't gain much of anything, but it's across the board. I just feel it should be recognition.
Would the HR director like to comment?
Debbie and I have been working towards trying to get a salary study done. I've been here 2 years next month, and we've been working on it that entire time. It is impossible to do an accurate salary study unless all of the job descriptions are updated. As a good example, when we had premium pay and everybody had to submit a job description, they're all over the board. I got one paragraph from one department to a full-blown job description from others. Every job description for the county has to be reviewed before we can truly invest in the salary study that has any merit.
Could you furnish the commissioners with a sort of a status of the various elected offices and departments within our offices, who the people are that need to be encouraged to get these things up to par, so we could go to a salary schedule?
You can provide them with a template that says it has to have, like ours have like job duties, qualifications, special tasks, whatever it is. Give them the template and say,
Well,
you have, this is what has to
The
look
template
like.
was given to them, I know when Archer did the study, and everybody just kind of has fallen away from that, but
was a
yes,
long
you're
time
right.
ago.
That needs to be done, and I'm happy to comply with your request. I think I would like to have a 2-week window to send out asks and reminders, and let you know then what response I get and who's not even interested in working on that task.
Well, that's fine. Maybe perhaps you should draft the notice and have it come from the presiding commissioner and the associate commissioners rather than HR.
I'm happy to do that.
Sure, wait till I'm not there and just give me more work.
Yeah, gotta keep you busy, Sam.
Thank you.
I'd be glad to do that.
If we're gonna do this, and if somebody leaves and they've been here for 20 years and they've got that extra 2,000, if that pay form comes across our desk and they want that same salary for that new employee, are we gonna sign it?
Not automatically, because just because they followed
But-
somebody with a 20-year career versus one with a 5-year career, that
They're
shouldn't.
gonna argue that money's in their budgets, in their salary budget, they can pay it.
Well-
And
Well, then you just
we've
have
run
to-
into this before, is where it just drives you nuts.
Well, then the next year, you'll just have to reduce their appropriation. I know it becomes highly contested and people get excited, but that's,
Make them do a chart that says like starting salary.
We can have charts out to yin yang, and
Well-
if they don't follow it, they're like, hey, it's in my budget, it's in my salary budget, you gotta pay it. Well, okay, we do this year, but next year you gotta give that employee a $2,000 pay decrease. Is that gonna work?
You shouldn't ask for it in the first place.
Well, there's a difference between a director making those kind of decisions versus an elected official making those kind of decisions.
true.
And we're saddled with that, given the structure that we have to operate under.
So that's part of the frustration with doing it
Yes.
this way, and when we put that money in that reserve to do some kind of adjustments, if that's how we wanna use it, I'm not gonna have a big fallout over this. I think it is telling the people that we've had that have been here for a long time, thank you. It's a small gesture, but it is something.
So the Western District Commissioner, sitting in the seat of running the meeting, is asking for a motion to adopt the years of service pay plan.
I would make that motion.
Okay, effective through 12/31/22 for the years of service, just to clarify, correct?
Yes,
And then $100 per year credited, right, Debbie? That's how you got it fixed?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure the motion was clear. I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you for all the hard legwork that was done to get us to this point.
So we were talking about the salary study. If we had an idea of what it would cost to get one done, the city just got one done, right?
And we can, I thought I had a copy of it, but I'll look and see if I have the current one.
What they sent us was 2016, we've not yet got the 22.
But they have received it within the
As far as
last
I know, they've
couple of
received it.
weeks,
They've
yes.
not released it to us yet.
But I was curious what it cost to have it
About
done.
60,000 probably.
Wow.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
that part.
It was, Definitely not 100,000.
Okay. Let's just stay on, let's stay on a roll if we can to get these descriptions put together and see what, if you can't get us a copy of, probably electronically, of, by calling their HR at the city. I think they'd share it. Oh, it's probably a public
Oh, yeah,
record
they'll
anyway.
share it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll share it.
They said
It may be online just to pick up too. All right.
And can I clarify that this would start with the next payroll period, which would be March 5th?
That's fine. It has to work.
I guess so.
It has to work into your schedule of
We've already started this payroll period, so I would have to backdated it, and I don't really,
right.
okay. We'll go for March 5th.
Okay. That is the end of the scheduled agenda items outside of a closed meeting. Any other comments from commissioners? If not, I think I would notice that the next meeting is a week from today, 9 a.m. I'd accept a motion to go into closed session.
Let me get the numbers here. Make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021 subsection 19.
Sam, you want to?
Second.
Okay, we have
Roll
a
call.
motion and a second. Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Harry.
Yes.
All right, Sam, you're staying on the line, I guess.
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to keep from coughing.